You ever watch the world you built start to unravel, one splinter at a time? Because that's how it started for me. A Friday night, lake glass still, porch swing creaking, Bruno flopped at my feet. The kind of peace you work your whole life to earn. And then, in one blink, it's gone. The red and blue lights were already bouncing across my dock before the fear even set in. And there she was, Karen Reynolds, standing like she owned the moon, clipboard aimed at my security camera, ready to ruin my weekend and my faith in humanity, all in one breath. "That's the one," she hollered, all high and mighty, like I'd rigged the lake for pay-per-view. "He's filming the water, breaking bylaws." The cop turned to me, hand already on his belt, routine, but not friendly. "Sir, mind telling us why there's monitoring equipment on a shared lake?" And I almost laughed, right? It's a dock camera, officer, for security. Someone's been sneaking around. Karen went full theater, clutching her pearls. "Sneaking? Are you accusing neighbors? It's a privacy violation." The cop barely looked at her, and just then my phone buzzed, the camera's motion alert. On the screen, a figure right then, on my dock, caught in the glow, blue suit, the same one Karen wore. The cop squinted, leaned in. "Isn't that?" Karen froze, the feed lighting up her face. Her whole act crumbled, as the flashlight found muddy footprints trailing from the water straight to her yard. That was the moment everything flipped, and if you think that's the craziest part, buckle up. Let me rewind, 2 years earlier, I bought this place. Maplewood Lake. Quiet, honest, with the dock I'd always dreamed of. Bruno and I settled in, got to know the real neighbors. Mr. Patel, generous with tools, Mrs. Carter, pie for days. But then there was Karen, HOA president for life, already measuring my mailbox before I'd unpacked a box. "Just so you know, no unapproved sheds, no lights after 9. Regulation gray mailboxes only," she chirped, her eyes scanning for infractions like a barcode scanner. Thought she was harmless. Man, was I wrong. First it was notes about grass height. Then photos of my barbecue because smoke drifted onto the community path. I played nice, offered lemonade. She never took it. Then the night visit started. Bruno would bark, I'd find muddy prints. By the dock, always too late to see who. One morning I asked if she'd noticed anything odd. Her smile said, "Never," but her eyes flickered. Folks whispered about her divorce, her bitterness, maybe. This was all about control, not malice. So I tried to show kindness. Mowed her lawn when she was sick, left flowers, got a legal warning in return. Unauthorized property alteration. I shook it off. But when my boat vanished, I got serious. Tied up tight one night, gone by morning. I filed a report, asked around. Karen, coffee in hand, just said, "Maybe next time, register it with the HOA rules. Exist for a reason." That tone, something snapped. I installed the dock camera. Didn't even point at her yard, just my dock. But by noon, she was out there pacing, then sent a digital summons. "Remove illegal surveillance per section 4.2.7. I ignored it. That night, Bruno growled, and I caught a shadow at the dock rope. Gone before I got there, but the knot was loose. I knew then this wasn't over. Flash forward. Cops, Karen, and the live feed busting her red-handed. After that, nights blurred into paranoia. The officer reviewed the clip, the blue suit shining like a confession. "Ma'am, this looks like you." She sputtered, "That can't be me." But nobody was buying it. She stomped off, and the cop gave me a look. "Keep that camera running. This isn't over." And it wasn't. That same night, motion alert again. I checked the feed, 2 hooded figures, one waving something metallic. Bruno and I bolted outside, but they were gone. Only a silver keychain wedged near the dock, K. Reynolds engraved. It wasn't just her. Next morning, I marched straight to her HOA office, her garage, with a sign like she was running the FBI. Dropped the keychain on her desk. She paled. Found it on my dock, Karen, at 2 a.m. She threatened harassment charges, but her hands were shaking. That night, I adjusted the camera, caught a new shadow slipping past her. Fence. Karen, whispering with a tall, nervous guy I'd never seen. I filmed everything. Later, the guy tied something thick to my dock, then returned and dragged my missing anchor from the lake, waving it toward my house. The feed cut out right then, and a silhouette appeared by my window. Him, holding a wrench, creeping closer. Bruno went wild, lunging at the door. The guy bolted toward Karen's yard. I showed the police the video, clear as day, her, him, the anchor. The officer looked rattled. Funny how her name keeps coming up. And then, like clockwork, Karen blanketed the neighborhood with flyers. Emergency HOA meeting, suspicious activity at Dock 14. That's my dock. Now I'm the villain. At the meeting, Karen paraded blurry photos. Me, supposedly tampering with ropes and anchors. But in the water's reflection, you could see her by her fence. I played my video. Karen, the man, the anchor, everything. The crowd turned. She stormed inside, reputation shattered. But something in her eyes said she wasn't finished. That night, I saw her digging in her own yard by flashlight, pulling a small lockbox from the dirt. Next morning, curiosity ate me alive. I found the spot, unearthed the box, and barely escaped when she came looking. Inside, with help from Tyler, my mechanic friend, we found photos of every house, mine included, some taken at night. Notes like, keep him quiet, asking too many questions. It was an HOA spy dossier. And in the files, blueprints for something called Phase 2, listing homes for acquisition. The real owners, Blue Haven Management Group, the same name on the lake deed. I took everything to Officer Daniels. His jaw clenched. This isn't just HOA drama. It's a scam, forced buyouts, intimidation, corporate muscle. Within days, Blue Haven's goons showed up in black SUVs, clipboard and smug, reviewing my property for violations. Karen trailed behind, satisfied. That night, my dock nearly caught fire. Someone poured accelerant, tried to torch the evidence, but Bruno and I caught it in time. The police traced it all back to Blue Haven, corporate intimidation, fake contamination reports, and plans to seize half the neighborhood. Even after Blue Haven's CEO, Langford, was arrested, it didn't stop. Karen confessed she'd been blackmailed into helping them, then tried to save us when she realized how deep it went. She handed me a flash drive with the final proof, but before we could act, Blue Haven's enforcer, Mark, showed up. In the chaos that followed, Karen was shot, sacrificing herself so I could escape with the evidence. The drives exposed everything: property laundering, fake violations, threats, spanning 5 states. The story broke nationwide. Blue Haven collapsed, and our lake was finally safe. Or so we thought. But evil doesn't just vanish. Months later, new notes started appearing. Phase 4 begins soon. Cameras blacked out. Daniels and I traced it to a government official, Chief Inspector Hale, helping Blue Haven rebrand as Orion, prepping to clean up the lake for redevelopment. One night, they staged a contamination scene, hazmat trucks, oil on the water, fake federal cleanup. Daniels and I filmed everything, but gunfire erupted. We barely escaped as the dock burned behind us. The next day, the news called it an accident, but I knew the truth. With Daniels' help, we sent the files to the state. Orion's scheme collapsed. My neighborhood survived, but Karen's house stood empty, and Mark's body was never found. Some nights, when the wind moves just right, I still see a light in Karen's old window or a shadow by the lake's edge. I don't know if the fight's really over, but I do know this: justice only wins if you stand your ground, even when the storm's at your door. And if you've ever battled an HOA, a corporation, or just a neighbor who doesn't know when to quit, drop your story in the comments. Tell me, where's the line between justice and revenge in a world like this? Because out here, the only way to protect your home is to never back down.